If you look closely at Henry Ford's early career, you don't find immediate triumph. You find a series of catastrophic, embarrassing failures. His first 2 attempts at building a motor company ended in bankruptcy. He was a brilliant engineer working in isolation, trying to force his mechanical vision into the market through sheer willpower. But moving fast on his own wasn't enough to manage the brutal complexity of a functioning business. The turning point arrived when he stopped trying to do it all himself. Ford brought in James Couzens. Couzens took over the business operations, the accounting, and the sales, freeing Ford to focus entirely on the engineering. This specific division of labor allowed Ford to scale from producing 1,700 cars a year to nearly 200,000 in less than a decade. The partnership provided the administrative stability required to build and sustain an industrial footprint of this scale. Hitting true scale rarely happens in a vacuum. It requires stepping out of a single-minded, isolated workflow and building a unified, multidisciplinary partnership. Welcome to the Daily Planning Draw. Go ahead and grab your notebook and keep your most active business project front and center in your mind. There's an old African proverb that outlines the exact physics of building something difficult. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Today, we're pulling card 16, which governs the critical transition from working solo to building a team. As a founder, you will eventually hit the absolute limit of what you can physically build by yourself. But the moment you decide to bring someone else in, you introduce massive risk. Picking the wrong partner is the fastest known way to kill a growing company. Handing over a piece of your equity to a co-founder is the highest stakes decision in the life cycle of a startup. It carries the exact same structural gravity as a marriage. The text on the card makes a critical distinction. Being a solo founder works for simple ventures, but complicated or innovative ones benefit from the motivation, labor, and diverse skill sets brought by co-founders. A complex business model demands parallel labor. One person navigating multiple problems will eventually bottleneck. You need diverse skill sets attacking different sides simultaneously. But there's a heavy mechanical reality. You are binding yourselves together through shared equity and liability. This isn't a casual hire. You do not give away half of your company simply because someone knows how to write a specific type of code or run an effective marketing campaign. A co-founder relationship is a permanent legal and financial fusion. It requires extreme, sustained vetting long before any paperwork is signed. To manage that risk, the dark green section at the bottom of the card acts as a mandatory prenup checklist. The first question asks, which areas of your business are most important now? You have to strictly isolate the specific, critical capabilities your venture is currently missing, rather than just looking for general help. The second asks, who do you trust with needed skills or network? This forces you to look past a candidate's resume. You need to assess their baseline character, the strength of their personal network, and whether you actually trust them to handle immense pressure. Finally, would they be better as an advisor, employee, or contractor? Not everyone who contributes a valuable piece of work needs to sit at the founder's table. Correctly classifying how someone fits into your business structure early on is the ultimate safeguard for your venture's long-term survival. It is time for the strategic pause. Get your pen ready for a mandatory 5-minute writing exercise. Look at the 3 questions on the screen. Pick just one to deeply analyze based on where your business is at today. Pause this video. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Write down your unfiltered thoughts, and do not hit play until you are completely finished. Welcome back. As you were just writing, you likely hit a very common point of friction regarding compensation. Forcing those abstract anxieties onto paper is exactly how you achieve structural clarity before you make irreversible commitments. The most common objection founders raise here is, if I desperately need a skill but have zero cash for a salary, don't I have to make them a co-founder? The definitive answer is no. Equity is the most expensive currency you will ever possess. Giving away half your company to compensate for a temporary lack of cash represents a massive, permanent loss of future value. There are always other mechanical levers to pull. You can negotiate deferred payment, offer a minor fractional slice for an advisory role, or simply hire them for short bursts as a part-time contractor. The absolute rule of early-stage business building is to protect your capitalization table at all costs. A venture's longevity depends on the structural integrity of its leadership. Rigorous vetting is the only way to ensure that the partnership you build today can survive the high-pressure volatility of the